As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal, this is financial month, right? So they call it
Financial Literacy Month. So this is
literacy.
the
Yeah.
month that everybody should be talking about money and how to spend it properly and how it's managed in their businesses. Of course, we know that that's not happening, but and especially Gilbert, since um, the taxes have been pushed back to May 17th, so now they really don't have to be focused on it, and they're in a relaxed mode right now.
Oh,
So
yes, they certainly are. Oh man. I'm hoping that someday small businesses will see the light and say, you know what? Let's do some things in advance and don't wait until the last minute.
that would be so nice.
That would be so nice. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'm wishing, I'm hoping.
Yeah, one day it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen, but yeah, no, the day is not the day.
Yeah. So how was your week, Crystal? How was your week?
Oh, my week was busy as usual. I think oh my God, it's intense sometimes. You know, your phone is ringing.
Yeah.
Between every 2 minutes you have a Zoom meeting that you gotta attend. You get off one, you have another one. But I will say I'm not ready to go back to live anything just yet. So I'm
Yeah.
cool with Zooming. How about you? How are you feeling
The,
about
the,
going
s-
live?
the same thing here, man. I'm not ready to go live. I, I am indoctrinated into this online stuff, man. So I rather do everything online right now. I don't really need to be in the presence of any clients or anyone right now. So I'm good.
I know, because everybody, when you turn on the news and you hear the governor saying, "Okay, we're gonna return. Everything is going back to normal June 5th, 7th, 15th," and I'm like, "No, not yet, because we're
we're
not out the pandemic yet."
we're not ready for that yet. So let's do some more precaution here.
I think so, because we still got to get through uh, a Memorial Day. We got to
Yeah,
get through Fourth of July. We got to get
yeah,
through Labor Day.
yeah.
Who knows what happened for Easter? I already
Oh
know.
man.
I heard people getting together for Easter.
Yep.
So
And
uh,
the results of those are still pending. So we're still waiting to see what happened over the Easter break. So
right, exactly. So people are not quite accustomed to waiting, and it's very important that people do some. They got to learn patience. This is just
yes,
not the time. Um, this is just not the time to be
yes.
all excited about it being over, because it's not over.
Right. That's right. That's right. So for those of our viewers and small business participants who are watching this show, this is a Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4 on this same great station, and you can access us on YouTube, or you can go to Facebook. And make sure when you go to YouTube, you hit that subscribe button, because the more you hit the subscribe button is the more we can send you information on the show. We can send you notifications, let you know what's going on. If we get any information as far as data that can help small businesses, then you can access it immediately. It will come straight to you. So that's what this show is about. Now, the Business Zone, for some of you who are just tuning in, the Business Zone is a platform. It's a live radio show slash podcast that provides information for small businesses. It helps to guide you, lets you know what you need to develop your back office, your infrastructure, your bookkeeping, your accounting system. And we also hold your hand through the process. Crystal and I, between the two of us, we've been in the industry for over 50 years. I'm not going to tell you which one of us,
Who makes up the bigger part of that number?
which one of us. But you definitely are in good hands with us. We're super consultants, and we go the extra mile with you. So just want to put that out there. Did I miss anything, Crystal?
I'm saying hello to Marsha. She's tuned in.
Hi,
And
Marsha.
Hey, Marsha. So, Maisha. I'm sorry, Maisha.
Maisha.
Yeah, she's from my tennis club, my tennis place. So I'll see her tomorrow. She has her grandsons play tennis with us, and she and her boyfriend plays tennis with us as well. I'm with you, Gilbert. This platform is specifically to help our business owners in our community, and small business owners, to make sure that they're business ready, bank loan ready, and contract ready. So if you tune in here, or you go to our YouTube channel and look at our archives of shows, we've been on the air this year 5 years. So we're super excited about this 5th year, and you can find everything that you need to know based upon the experiences and information that Gilbert and I have accumulated over that 50 years, and we share it with you willingly. We have a mission, right, Gilbert? Our mission is to make sure our businesses are ready for whatever opportunities that present themselves to them.
That's right, and that's exactly what we're doing. Our thing here is to make sure that whatever happened to us in 2020 doesn't happen again. That pandemic that hit us, and many of us were caught off guard by not being ready, not knowing where our key documents are, and then when we're provided an opportunity in terms of the PPP loan or a grant or anything to that extent, we did not have our documents ready. We couldn't find them. We didn't even know what to do. So this show, the Business Zone, is to make sure that never, ever happen to you again. We want to make sure you're ready. Your documents are at your fingertips. You can access it in seconds. And you also know a little something about your business. You're running your business. You got to know a little something about the financial part of your business. Okay? So that's what we're going to go over today.
And this won't be the last pandemic or the last crises that our businesses will encounter. There's crises all the time, and so we want to make sure that next time it won't catch you unaware. You will have everything in order, and that's our commitment to you. So we're excited. And today, because it is Financial Literacy Month, we're going to talk about how to build and maintain business credit, which is definitely a little different from personal credit. Personal credit is important as well, but you actually have your business, if it's properly structured and properly licensed and incorporated, it's an entity all by itself. And so, therefore, it can have it's its own world, right? And so that means it can have its own credit. So we're going to talk about that shortly, and give you as much information to get you started. And I know everybody always is really curious about the business credit piece, like how does that really work? How do I apply for credit cards and so forth in my business name? So we're going to talk about that. But Gilbert, I have to share something with you. So this week, you know how busy we both are, right? Phones are ringing 24/7. I have not just the Business Zone. I do the community briefing on Thursday, which yesterday was actually pretty awesome, the information that was discussed. I also am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, and I'm my own company, right? I'm my own brand. I have a speaking, I speak, I teach, I train, and I do accounting and bookkeeping for businesses. So that's a lot of maneuvering, right?
Right.
Maneuvering to make sure that I get and speak to everyone in a timely manner. And so I've been bouncing around that I needed a virtual receptionist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody virtually that could help me out to send information. So um, someone has been trying to get me to do some stuff with them for a very long time,
Yeah.
reached out to me, and he had this great program, and so he caught me at a time when phones were ringing off the hook, and I was like, okay, I'm open to whatever you have, so tell me, give it to me. So I signed up today for
Uh-huh.
yesterday or 2 days ago actually for a virtual receptionist. So I have a phone number that when you call that phone number,
Yes.
it will give you a directory in order to
Really?
get the information that I have.
Really now?
Yeah. So if you dial this, my new business number, and I'm going to give it to everyone. So you
Let
want to
let
write it
me
down,
let me write it down.
and then
What's the
I'm going
new
to have
number?
you. I want to have you call it, and then you're
Yeah.
going to see what it does. Okay. So the
Yes.
phone number is 213
Uh-huh.
458
Uh-huh.
5952.
5952. Okay. So when we call that number, what happens?
So when you call that number, it's going to welcome you to thank you for calling Mitchell Business Solutions. And if
Mm-hmm.
you want to speak with Crystal, press 1.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to have a link to the latest Business Zone show, press 2.
All
Press
right.
3 if you would like to be a guest on the Business Zone. Press 3, and then it's going to send them the information based upon how I programmed it in.
Really now?
Really now.
Oh, this is great. This is great. This
and,
is great. I love it.
and then it says that if you press 4, you can get a copy of, you can get a link for the community business briefing. Press 5, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we want everyone to do, to go and subscribe to the Business Zone YouTube channel. And the
Mm-hmm.
links are already there. All they got to do is press it, and then it sends me a notification. And now I know they can get a form to be a guest on the show. They can
Mm-hmm.
get they can get the link to the show. They can go subscribe to our social media. So now I don't have to keep doing those same routine things day after day after day.
And you get to track and monitor who has been requesting, how many people have requested, and what they have requested. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That is
Yes.
amazing. I love it. See, I told you were a digital ninja. I told you. I told you were a digital ninja because you know exactly how to get these types of work streamlined, instead of having to do all these different things at once. And many small businesses, they're just a solo operator. So they're going to need some kind of assistance like this. So folks, if you're viewing this show and you are a solo operator in your business, this is great information for you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the phone number in the chat right now. I want you guys to go ahead and check it out and see if it actually works. And I'm putting it right now.
Okay. So
Uh, and it's called a virtual assistant, Crystal.
is my virtual assistant. And if you like this service and you want to incorporate it, I was so in love with it, Gilbert. I have become an affiliate. So
Oh,
you can get
wow.
my link, and so you can actually also be able to do that on that phone, on those options on my phone, on that phone number. So if you want to
Wow.
talk to me, press 1 for Christo. If you want more, if you want the latest show for the Business Zone, then you press 2, and it just goes on down the list. And it just simplified a whole part. And it's so funny, as I was setting it up, someone called me and said, "I want to be someone told me about the business community, the community briefing, and how
Yeah.
do I get information?" And I said, call 213-458-5952. And so he did. He goes, "Oh my God, it sent me what I needed." It's
Wow.
perfect. is perfect.
Gregory Sneed said, "I'm a soul operator." Soul, like SOUL, like a soul brother.
He is soul.
Hey, Greg, how you doing, man? Welcome to the Business Zone. It's always a pleasure having you here, my brother.
Glad to have you.
Hey, if you guys check out this virtual assistant that Crystal identified here, if it works for you, man, this will be great. This will be saving you guys some work. Instead of hiring that extra person to do this kind of work, that virtual assistant will do it, right? And it probably doesn't cost much, right, Crystal?
No, it doesn't cost much, and if they want to become an affiliate, then they can even make it. It can make it even become cheaper. But at this point, I was so overwhelmed last week that I thought, I don't care what it costs at this point, because if I was going to hire somebody, it's going to cost me far less. This program costs you far less to do this than to hire someone.
Oh, for sure, for sure. For sure.
But you know how those routine, somebody's calling you and, they call me, I want to be a guest on the show. Then I got to go through the process of getting them the link for that. And or if they want the Zoom link for the community briefing, then that's an extra step. But in the meantime, we got a lot of steps that we take in just to do business, right?
Yeah.
And Gilbert, our biggest thing is getting people to subscribe to this channel. So now you can call that number and you can actually subscribe to that number. So
beautiful.
We want you guys to do that. So make sure you go over and do that for us, and we will definitely appreciate that.
I like that, Crystal. I like that. You are so sharp, man. You're on the ball.
But this one was information. This one was somebody that has been trying to get me to connect to the things that they do and the programs that they're on, and they just happen not to. The problem was they weren't bringing the right things that would make my life easier. So, what do we tell people? If you can solve a pain of mine, you got me as a customer.
They got your attention. See, we got one subscriber already. Greg Sneed said, "I just signed up for the Vault virtual assistant. It's great." This is beautiful, Greg. Beautiful. You know what? I'm going to be signing up after the show, too. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer, too. This is great.
So we want you to, because I want to make everybody's life easier. I know my life needs to be easier. It has to be easier. So
right.
You can't bounce around all this stuff without some sort of program in place to make it simpler for you, the person that's running all these businesses. I know you got your business, you're training and educating, and then you've got SmallBizPro, and then we're committed to several organizations in the community. So this makes it easier.
You got to organize. You got to organize and automate your process. And as a matter of fact, I see this in a lot of ways, Crystal, that I could use as well for my workshops. If someone wants a capability statement workshop, they can go in and press 1, or if they want a SmallBizPro tutorial overview, how to use SmallBizPro, they press 2. I love it. Okay, Greg, you'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Send a link over. I'm going to send a link over to Greg because he's going to pop in and we'll talk a little bit about it from his standpoint. So he said he'll be back in 15 minutes, and then I'll send a link over and he can join us when we actually start talking about the business credit, because he's
Yes, he's got a wealth of knowledge in terms of finances and business credit and all of that. So yes, Greg, we're hoping that you come back soon.
And you know what, Gilbert? So this system, you're absolutely right. You could send out, they can go on there and sign up for workshops and classes, and they get the link and it goes right there and they register. But you also can do a blast out to them. So, and it has a drip system where it does an automatic, you can put in one word, you can say SmallBizPro, and they click that, and then it's going to deliver them the information for Small Biz Pro. So they don't
Oh,
even have to press through.
this is great. I love it.
Yeah, so I'll share it with you a little later on, but and send you the link, and you can go ahead and sign up too, because I know your life is just like my life.
Yes. And Lily, welcome to the Business Zone. Lily is one of our viewers today. This is Lily Rocha from the Latino Restaurant Association. She has a boot camp coming up on Monday, April 19th. You guys want to reach out to that program. It's an excellent program. If you run a restaurant, a catering business, or any type of food service, you guys may want to check out the Latino Restaurant Association boot camp that's coming up. And to get to that program, you want to go to LatinoRestaurantAssociation.org. LatinoRestaurantAssociation.org. And I'll put that in the chat in a little bit. But you guys are going to have an amazing workshop there with Lily Rocha. Lily Rocha is the CEO of that program, and she's phenomenal. She was our guest last week, right, Crystal? On the show.
So if you go to our YouTube channel and you click to the latest show which was last week, which was, I think that was what date was that? That was the 9th.
Yeah,
I think it was the 9th last week, and you will see Lily, and we had a great conversation, and so you can go there. But while you're there, make sure you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so it will remind you that every Friday afternoon at 3:00, and it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. This is the one time you can subscribe totally for free, no trial, just for free. Hey James, welcome. Welcome to the Business Zone. So Gilbert, are we ready for?
We are ready. Today is class in session. So we're going to have an in-session class today on financial literacy and business credit. And our presenter and teacher is going to be no other than my co-host, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
So we're gonna I'm gonna take the overlay off right now so we can make this bigger. And I'm going to hit the slideshow so that we can have conversation at the same time. Okay. Let's see. All righty. There we go. So everyone, this is something that all businesses should strive for. And I think it's an amazing feat for you in order to establish business credit and be able to build that credit. So we're going to tell you today how to go about getting it, and as well as how to build it. And then Gilbert is going to share with you how important it actually is to have business credit. Right, Gilbert?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. I can't wait. This is amazing. Many small businesses get eliminated from the lending process. Just remember, in business, folks, in business, you want to use other people's money, not your own money, other people's money. That's what the big boys and the big girls do. They use our money, not theirs. So you want to do the same too. So by getting a line of credit, might help you to do that so you can leverage excess funds. Go ahead, Crystal.
Exactly. So first of all, what is business credit and why is it different from personal credit? So business credit is the ability for your business to qualify for financing, whether that's for short-term, long-term, vendors, suppliers, but it gives you the ability to do that. Businesses have credit scores and credit reports just like you as a personal human being does. And also, there are credit bureaus that monitor the credit and the credit score for your business. And so Dun & Bradstreet is an important one, and Experian and Equifax all keep all of the records of your debt payments and other credit information on your bank. So this is how it's really just, again, a monitoring system on how well you pay your bills and if you are a credit worthy individual, and that's your business if it's credit worthy. And Gilbert, you can answer this. So if I have business credit, do I also have to guarantee it as an individual, or after I have established my business credit, is that all I need?
Well, as an individual, let's say you're just starting out, they will look at your individual credit as well as a business credit, but they're going to use your individual credit as a how do you say, a guarantee.
Okay.
Use that to guarantee the lending. So you want to be able to know that, and you want to keep both of those in good standing. Now, Crystal is going to go over how you can go about getting your business credit established. But I just want you to know, as a personal and individual, a sole proprietor, you want to keep that personal credit in good standing, because most of the times they're going to use that as the guarantee for your business.
Okay, so here's going to be a couple of tips of how to establish it and then how to go about building it. And so we're going to go through 8 tips. And some of them, just like your credit, your personal credit, it makes sense. It's common sense, right? And this is what we all are looking for, when we look at credit. So one of the things is you need to put your business on the map, right? So what that means is you need to establish yourself and that the business stands out there. So it has a business address, it has a business phone, it has you're listed in the Google directory. If there's a phone directory, you're listed there, and you have a website, and you actually have a presence and a carbon footprint, so that if someone's looking for you, they can go and do a Google search and they can find your information.
In other words, that means that what you're doing, it's like a woman giving birth. When you give birth, you separate yourself. When you're pregnant, you've got the baby inside of you, right? But when you give birth, you're separating yourself from that child. That's what you do when you establish a business. You give birth to the business. Now you got to separate your personal from the business credit. So you got to establish the business in a certain kind of way while you're establishing your personal credibility as well. So that's why what Crystal is saying, you got to make sure you register on Google, make sure you register in all these different areas so that the business itself can take on its own credibility and start getting its own footprint in the marketplace. That's really what that is. So you got to open a bank account in the business name. You got to make sure you try to obtain credit in the business name, take out a credit card or something to that effect so you can start building that credit.
Exactly. And then once you say that you've tracked it, you should maintain good credit with your suppliers and your vendors. So if you're in a business, in a construction business, and you need materials and supplies in order to conduct that business, then you will have suppliers. So you want to create a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day vendor terms or supplier terms with them. And then you want to make sure when they're billing you that you're paying them on time. So you want to maintain good credit, good relationships with the suppliers and the vendors that you're doing business with.
And a good way to do that, as Crystal mentioned, is to create an EIN for that business. Don't use your social security number. Don't ever, 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 ever use your social security number to run your business. I know some of you are probably doing that, but as of today, April 16th, you stop doing that. No more. On Monday, you're gonna go to irs.gov and you're going to apply for an EIN for your business.
Okay. And after you've done that, now bills come due, you want to pay them on time. So this is the accountant in me saying, make sure that you have an accounting system so that you know when the due dates are and it's scheduled in your system. And then you will know on a weekly basis when you have to pay your bills. You want to make sure that you don't allow your bills to get over a 30-day period, because then negative information is going to be reported to those to your creditors, and then that's going to create a problem in your credit history. And so you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time all the time.
Now, Crystal, if you don't mind, I want to add this little nugget out there for small businesses as well. While you're trying to establish credit for the business, here's a good way to do that. If you can obtain a credit card, say from Office Office Depot or one of those types of places that you know you're going to need material and supplies for your business, obtain a credit card and use that credit card to purchase your materials, and then you pay it down every 30 days. You pay whatever you owe, and that would help to build your credit that way. So that would be a good thing, because remember this, many of these stores report to the credit bureaus. They report to Dun and Bradstreet, they report to Equifax or Experian. So you want to make sure that they're reporting. And if you go to a credit provider, and that credit, you're not sure if that credit provider reports to Dun and Bradstreet, just ask them. Ask them, do you guys report business credit on the credit bureau? And if they said no, then you want to find one that does, because you don't want to waste your time purchasing stuff from an entity that doesn't contribute to your credit worthiness. So you want to make sure you do those types of things.
And the next one is you want to get incorporated. That's what separates you from your personal and your business. So you could create an LLC, and that will give you, for a number of reasons, but in order to build your credit card, in this case, it's about building and establishing your business credit. So let the business become its own entity, and that's what a incorporation will do for you, in addition to protecting you from any lawsuits that could potentially occur in your business. And this will protect your personal assets from being attached or being included in that lawsuit.
And just so you know, my co-host Crystal is not saying this, but she does bookkeeping and accounting. So if you're not sure who to speak to, you can speak to her about this and say, hey, do you think this is a good idea? Do you think I need to do this? Or what do you think I need to do? And if she can provide the information, then she'll certainly refer you to some of our resources. And we've got one resources here listening to the show and viewing this show right now, Mr. Greg Sneed. He can also help you guys. So we just want to put that out there.
Okay. And then this one is extremely, I talk about this every time I get a new client and I have to establish their books. And I'm usually coming from raw data and historical data. And the one thing that I will see is personal and business expenses just commingled all over the place.
Yes. That is so true. So true.
And that probably in these tiles right here, that probably should have been number 2 behind business managing your business.
Yes, that's true.
Keeping your business and your personal expenses separated from one another. And that is one of the reasons you would want a credit card. So you will have that card to use those expenditures for the business, and then you do your own personal thing out of your own bank account and with that particular credit card.
So you don't take the business credit card and go to the movie with your loved ones or your kids, right? That's not what we do. We don't commingle funds like that.
And on top of that, taking your wife and kids out to the movies is not a deductible expense. I don't care how you try to shake that one, that is not a deductible expense. And then finally, Gilbert, and this is all part of, being part of the accounting and bookkeeping process and foundation of your business, is monitoring your credit making sure that things are not being recorded onto your credit. And if you do it early enough, then you have enough time to fix it. But if you never ever go in and take a look at your credit, then you ever never, when you do need your credit, then you're going to find out there may be some erroneous transactions on there that is not yours. And you're like, where'd this come from? But if you had been monitoring all along, then you wouldn't have had that problem. So that's the steps to.
I wanna add something to that, Crystal. That number 8 one that you just went over. Okay.
Okay.
So I was watching the news yesterday, and they were talking about people who got PPP loans, and
Okay.
some people, because the SBA is now requiring people to start paying back on those loans, right? So the
Right.
SBA is sending all kinds of bills to people saying, hey, your PPP, you remember that PPP loan that you took out for $40,000? Now we want you to start paying on it. And some people never even applied for a loan. So
Really?
yes, there are loans that are going out in people's names that they never applied for because some little janky person out there decided to get your credit information, your name, your company name, and they applied for those SBA loans in those people's name. So now they're receiving bills and they're going, hey, I never even applied for a loan. Where is this coming from? So that's one of the reasons you want to monitor your credit regularly to see what's going on there.
Wow. And that's some of the things that I had heard, that during this pandemic, the black market and the underworld has been quite busy.
Oh,
and
yes.
So even with the vaccine, all of a sudden, people are finding information that they got fake cards, vaccine cards. So
Yeah.
as you said, Gilbert, here
Yeah.
are people who are because you're for whatever reason. I mean, if you're a criminal, you seem to be able to get everything that you need.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you guys, you want to be careful. Check those credit. Look at it every day. Every day. Greg said.
Right.
Greg said Jackie. No, it's not Jackie. Janky. 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 The Yankees, those little unscrupulous operators out there who they don't abide by the rules and regulations. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. Now.
yeah, then they mess up your credit. So be careful. And I know there were a lot of people who were out there saying, "Hey, I can get you your PPP loan. Just send me your personal information and I can help you." Those are the ones I'm talking about, guys. You want to be careful of those folks because they're criminals.
Oh yeah, it's big time, boy. I mean, they went into overdrive, and they're operating from the internet just like we're operating from the internet, and so all kinds of unscrupulous things have been going on for the last year and a half.
Right.
So as we were saying, and this is a little bit more detail on those tiles, setting up your a tip is setting up your Dun and Bradstreet. Now, the wonderful thing about the Dun and Bradstreet, which is unlike your own credit history, is you go in and put your suppliers in, and you choose the suppliers that you have a really good relationship with.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're monitoring and you're making sure you're paying your bills on time, and that therefore you have some control. So you're Dun and Bradstreet. You can go to www.dnb.com in order to set up it doesn't cost you anything. Now there is a cost if you want to monitor it, but it doesn't cost you anything to set up your Dun and Bradstreet.
Right. And that's a good way to do it. Now, many of you may be wondering, okay, how do I do that? How do I get to Dun & Bradstreet? You can do it one of two ways. You can either go dnb.com and go to their website, or you can go to our regular platform, SmallBizPro, and in there you've got Dun & Bradstreet link right in there under your dashboard. You just click on that and it takes you right to the Dun & Bradstreet platform. So just want to help you guys out.
And that takes you to the next one. And I wonder if you can go to SmallBizPro and do your EIN number as well.
Oh, yes, you can. You can go to smallbizpro.net and register, and you can go straight to the EIN. And on your dashboard, you just click on the registration. You click on that little link that says apply for EIN number. Bam, it takes you to the IRS site, and you can do it right there. So I'm
And
telling you, we're here to help you guys. We're here to help
we
you.
are here. We make it so convenient for you.
That's
So
right.
for those of you who don't know, but hopefully you do know, your EIN number is your federal tax identification number, and it's like a social security number for your business. Primarily, the chief purpose of it is when you have payroll, and that's the number they use in order to set up your payroll account and to make sure that you're applying your payroll deductions to your business and to the appropriate account. But in addition to that, it is the number that is identified with your business, and it becomes the business's social security number. You want your bank account set up under that number. Anything that has to do with securing your business contacts should be under the EIN number and not under your personal social security number. The EIN number. So let me ask you this, Gilbert. So with the social security, we always want to keep our number private, but not so much so with the EIN number. Is there a different tracking system, or what happens there? Do you know?
Well, the EIN is a lot more, there's a lot more security around that in terms of the business. Even though we recommend that you don't make the EIN that readily available to everyone, but
Mm-hmm.
in business, as you know, you have to fill out paperwork, and those paperwork requires the EIN. So you're gonna have to put it there anyway. But the IRS, they take a better stock in protecting the EIN than they would say, a lot of other numbers like the Social Security number and all of that. Greg Sneed also mentioned that the EIN and the TIN are numbers that you may want to look at for your business. And yes, that's true. Now, the TIN is a tax ID number, and that's usually a number that's given to someone who lives in the United States, and they are either a permanent resident or they're in good standing with the IRS, so immigration and the IRS. So if you're not illegal, but you're here legitimately, they will give you a tax ID number, which they call TIN. The EIN is more for people who are permanent residents or a citizen. So
Mm,
those are things you want to know.
okay. So again, the next one is paying your bills on time. So I'm going to give you guys a little story. Years ago, I had a client that was referred to me, um, and they had an IRS problem. They had an EDD problem. They had a lot of problems because their bills weren't being paid on time. They didn't have the appropriate management in place that didn't understand. The bookkeeper was doing something on her own. She was writing a book instead of maintaining the books for the
Oh
company.
Lord.
And so nothing got paid. The IRS didn't get paid. Nobody got paid on time. So they called me in as a troubleshooter to get their financials in order, right? So one of the first things after my and this was a client, so I would go there to them, and I would get these folks. So they were just transferring all of the debt collectors over to me, and I'm like having conversations and trying to, navigate to the fact that they owed everybody in the entire world, and they were all past due on everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I got it under control. And about 3 months after I had taken them over as a client, I set up their Dun and Bradstreet. I started monitoring what was going on. All of a sudden, the vendors and the suppliers were calling, going, "Did you guys get somebody new in your accounting department? All of a sudden, our bills are paid for as soon as they get to not even 30 days." So I changed their rating with Dun and Bradstreet. It was like I think it's alphabets, right? So
Well, with a business credit, they do it in a numerical way. So you get scored from 1 to 100. So if
okay.
you're scored anywhere from 76 to 100, you're great. You're in very good standing. But like the first from 1 to 10, if you're scoring 1 to 10 with your business creditors, you're not doing very well at all.
Yeah, so it was down there, and then I got them up to like 80, 90%,
Yeah,
90 as
that's
a
great.
rating.
That's
And so they
great.
were, the creditors were calling, going, "What has happened over there?" And so within a 6 month time frame, I got them back on par, and then they were able to do some refinancing, and that's really what it takes. So one of the things I always tell my clients is, if because cash flow is big, right? So
Hmm.
if your cash flow, you're having problems with your cash flow, call your creditors to let them know what's going on. That's first
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
And keep up an open conversation and dialogue with them, so they don't think you're trying to, as Gilbert's favorite words are, not trying to jack them.
That's right. That's
and,
right.
and then try to get a payment into them no later than the 29th of the month, because they're going to do their reporting on that 30th or 31st day of the month. So if you can get it in that last week of the month, then it'll get there on time, and they won't be reporting you, and therefore they won't have to notify the credit bureaus of negative transactions on your account. So that's
And
what I always tell my clients.
make sure also when you speak to them on the phone, you insist that they document your conversation, document what you just said to them, because somehow, some way, they sometimes they forget what you guys talk about and they keep you on their list as delinquent. So you want to put, we discussed that we're going to do a payment agreement today. Send me a letter to confirm that, and make sure you get those things.
And make sure you get the contact person that you spoke with, and a phone number, and an extension number, and document that with the time and date on the bill, and keep that in a tickler or some sort of system. Take a picture of it, whatever you need to do. Use SmallBizPro to upload it to the system, so
That's
that
right.
you can always go back and you can keep track of that, because you're absolutely right. Anytime you're dealing with any kind of a business, supplier, government agency, you want to always get their information. Hello, Steve. Hi, Andre. Welcome to the Business Zone. Um, they're on Facebook. So the next one is opening up a credit card. Now, some credit cards are easier to acquire than others. So, if you're just starting out as a business, you might want to look at a Home Depot account. You might want to look at a Staples account. Any of those type of services that you can buy supplies from, that support small businesses, and those. Now, you might start with a smaller amount on a credit line, but it will help you start to show some sort of payment history, and then they also will be reporting to the credit agencies
Right.
that information.
Right. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah. So. And next, get incorporated. If you haven't already, seriously consider it. This is a good time. It's the beginning of the year. There is some fees that go along with that. Now, is that something that you can do on SmallBizPro as well?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just go straight to Small Biz Pro. You register. You go to the dashboard, and on the inside, there's a registration tab there. You click on it, and you go to the California Secretary of State, and you do that. Easy.
See, simple. So you can get your EIN number, you can sign up at Dun and Bradstreet, and you can incorporate. I mean, what an
Incorporate.
amazing program. That's right on up there with my virtual receptionist, man.
That's
These are
what I'm
two
talking
tools you
about.
have to have.
That's what I'm talking about. Amazing, amazing.
So again, keeping your business and your personal separated is a vitally important thing, and then monitoring that credit, as Gilbert said, and as the reporting agents say, about 25% of small business owners have reported significant errors in the credit report. So before someone has to run your credit, then let you be the one to run your credit.
That's right.
To
That's
make
right.
sure that and having a strong credit score is really important. It will help you get better interest rates on your loans, and it decreases chances where you need to for prepay for special for your products and your services. So it really helps secure it, helps you secure better terms with your suppliers as your business grows. So you want to make sure you do that.
Especially remember what we said earlier. You want to be able to use other people's money. You got to use other people's money. That's why having a good credit score is really good for your business. So then when you apply for a line of credit, you could probably receive $100,000 line of credit at about 1.5 or 2%, maybe 2.5%, as opposed to a loan where you probably gonna have to do 8, 10, 12%. And don't even mention the credit cards, because the credit cards are at 24% now. You don't even want to touch those. You make your monthly payment and the balance keep going up. It's like, wait, I did make a payment here, but it's because the interest rate is so high. So a
Exactly.
line of credit, you want to look at a line of credit. Borrow other people's money.
Exactly. And it's said that 1 out of 4 businesses don't know anything about credit and business credit, and so they're always using their personal credit. And a lot of times, those loans will be denied based upon the fact that this is again that commingling of your personal and your business, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you have two separate identities, you will have a greater chance of being approved for business loans. And they even say 41% are more likely to approve a small business loan than they will a personal loan. So
Yeah.
just know that. So you want to know as much about it as possible so that you don't get caught. So now I took it upon myself to find out some QA FAQs, some frequently asked questions that they have, and you guys
Mm-hmm.
can let us know if that's something that applies to you. So um, many of our suppliers and offer you 30, 60, 90-day credit terms.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you create and start to develop your strong business profile, is paying your vendors on time and setting up and making arrangements to pay them as your cash flow. And this is helping you control your cash flow. So if you have 30, 60, 90-day terms, then you don't have to use all of your cash and it doesn't have to flow out of your business like that. You could actually monitor and control that process.
I want to add something here real quickly, Crystal. It's in line with this right here, but it has to do with contracts. So many small businesses instead they currently conduct transactional business where they do one business at a time with a client, hoping that those clients are going to come back next week, next month, or whatever. Most of the
Mhm.
times that doesn't happen. So that's not money you can count on. But if you have a contract and the contract is for a year, 2 years, or 3 years, then that might be a better deal for you, because now you can budget, you can make plans, you can hire people, because this contract is for $300,000. So you can hire X amount of staff, you can pay them, you can pay your bills, those types of things. But keep this in mind: when you're getting those contracts, many contract providers, they like to give you payment terms like 45 days, 60 days, 90 days. That means when you do the work, you perform a work for them, or you deliver a product, they're saying, okay, thank you, but we're going to pay you in 45 days or 60 days or 90. That's like you financing their operation for them. So you don't want to take 45, 60, or 90 days. If they can't pay you in 30 days, do not take that contract. Do not take the contract, because this is another way that you can put a burden on your financial stability. Because if you have to come out of your pocket and pay for stuff over 45 or 60 days, then that's going to hurt your excess funds that you have in your business. So 30 days or less is good. I want you guys to think about that for a little bit, okay? 30 days or less. Nothing beyond that. If a contract provider want to offer you terms at 45 and 60 days, then you're going to have to jack up your rates on them. You're going to say, hey, we'll do 45 or 60, but you got to have to pay a premium for that. Okay? That's what I want you
Exactly.
guys to know.
That's excellent. Excellent advice, Gilbert. And on that same, also, let's say you don't have suppliers in your business. You know, it's kind of easy if you have a store, a retail store, and you have contracts with Pepsi and Coca Cola. You know, they'll set up some terms with you until as you show them what a responsible individual you are or business that you are, then they'll extend that and they'll give you the 30 days and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
But if you don't, if you're a, you know, a service based business, then you want to be able to apply for those credit cards or that or if you have a relationship with your bank, as Gilbert says, you can apply for a line of credit, and it may be a small one,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, use a little bit of it, but make sure you're paying it back. I think a great one is American Express, because
Mm-hmm.
American Express really forces you to pay that balance at the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah.
that's a good way to start out, is being able to apply for a smaller loan and then showing your credibility and your worthiness over that time frame until they will increase that. And I would imagine secured credit cards also work in that same way, because they're going to
Yes.
increase your credit based upon your credit worthiness and how well you repay. So
Yeah.
these are all ways steps to, if you're just starting your business and you need to acquire credit for your business. The other thing is that a great perk of with business credit, they don't penalize you if you're inquiring about your credit. Whereas in the personal credit, if they run your credit, unless you're going through a credit bureau, one option I think is once every, what's the time frame that you can run credit on? And Greg, if you're on, you can probably tell us that as well. Where
Well,
you're not penalized.
well, they allow you one free credit report every year, one free for
Okay.
your personal. So in between that 1 year, you want to make sure that you monitor it and see what's going on. Now, if you see any discrepancies on there, make sure you write a letter to them and you complain and object to it. Now, when you do that letter of complaints, you don't want to do it just to one bureau. You want to do it to all three of them, because chances are if some bad stuff is on one report, chances are it's bad on the other two as well. So you want to make sure you send it to all of them and then have them, contest it. Make sure you have proof. If you have proof to say, hey, that wasn't me, here's a reason why it's not me, that
Mhm.
will help them to remove it from your credit.
Exactly. And then the other is, and those three bureaus are the Experian, Equifax, and Dun and Bradstreet. And remember, Dun and Bradstreet, you're putting your information in. So you're, of course, using the ones that you have the best relationships with to get started. And then at that point, then it'll start monitoring. But Equifax and Experian it operates just like your personal credit. So
Right.
if you have bills out there, they're being monitored and being reported to by the suppliers or vendors that you have those contracts with. Also, from a conservative standpoint, I think everyone should frequently take a look at their profiles and make sure that they are catching these errors early, sooner than later, so that when you do need a loan, you don't have these surprises that pop up, and generally those surprises pop up when you're going to buy property.
Right. Right.
uh,
Right.
they just come up out of nowhere, right? And
That's
you're like,
right.
well, where did that come from?
Yeah. Now, if you're doing personal credit, the three bureau for your personal credit is Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Those are the three for the personal, but for the business, you've got, instead of TransUnion, you've got Dun and Bradstreet in there. So just so you guys know that, and it's very important, very very important, guys. Now, in order to monitor your credit, they have these programs out there. I'm not promoting these programs, but I'm just letting you know they're out there so you can check with them and see how they work with your system. There's a program called Credit Karma, and then there's one called
Credit sensitive.
Sesame. Yeah, Credit
Mhm.
Sesame. So those programs monitor your credit on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and they tell you if there's any irregularities going on. So you have an early alarm system that tells you, hey, this doesn't look right. They may ask you a question. They may say, hey, Gilbert, did you make a big purchase this week? And you're gonna go, no. And they're gonna say a big purchase in the amount of $30,000. And you go, oh, that was me. Let me see. You're gonna go run your credit real quickly, and you get to see what's actually on there. So yeah, you can use those to help you monitor your credit.
Yeah, exactly. And another tip that is useful, and I use it when I'm personally, if I'm traveling out of the country, and so if you're on business and you're out of the country, even out of the state, I let my bank know. And if especially my bank and debit cards and credit cards, I let them know I'm going to be out of the country. I'm going to be using my cards so that
Yeah.
they'll know that it's you.
Yeah.
And really be on guard
Yeah.
for anything that may be going on while you're out there. So that's just a tip that I use personally.
Yeah.
And that way, because it's interesting. I don't even know how this happened. We're in COVID, so I'm not out spending money and doing wild, crazy things. And about 2 months ago, or actually just before I went to Cancun, I get a call from my bank saying that someone in Oregon was charging a meal at a hospital, and I'm like, Oregon? I'm
Yeah.
not in Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had used it like 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
At a I was at a store. I was at Target, so I had
Yeah.
used it there. And
Yeah.
and then I get this email, I get a text, and then first of all, I had to check that to make sure that wasn't coming from something erroneous, and want you to call. So I don't call anyone when you text me. So they're like, "No, that was us." I called my bank. "No, that was us."
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, somebody's trying to use your card." We denied it, but someone is trying to use your card in Oregon. Now, how my card, I haven't been to Oregon in 15 years. So how in the heck did this bank card to Oregon?
you know what's amazing, Crystal? I had a similar thing happen to me. I think it was 3 years ago, right?
Uh-huh.
I got a call from my credit card company saying, "Hey, somebody just used your credit card in Vegas at a restaurant, a bar and grill called Gilly's Bar and Grill, Gilly's Bar and Grill." And I'm going, "Wait a second. That's my pet name, but I didn't use this." So they said, yes, the person's in Vegas right now trying to check out. I'm going, hey, I'm not even in Vegas right now. I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Wow.
So they checked it out and they found out that this person was trying to do some, unscrupulous things with my card. So they shut it down right there and then. So that's one of the things when you have those credit alerts tied to your card and your credit
Yes.
system, you get those early warnings, which is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I have those. I have alerts on my credit cards, on my PayPal cards, any other cards that I use. I mean, I have some other pay portals, and they give me credit cards. They have a card with them as well, and I have alerts on all of those so that they'll notify you, because I don't even know how it happened.
Yeah.
And generally, if I'm shopping online, I'm using my PayPal, so I don't even know how they got this card. And I had just gotten that card replaced like 6 months before, so
Yeah.
it hadn't even had much traction. And here they are. So about a week before I'm leaving to go out of the country, I don't have my card, but I did have other cards. So you have to check and have alerts to make sure.
Yeah, Greg Sneed said some of those unscrupulous people, they scan the dark web, and that's how they get some of our information. Because if you use a card to purchase at Amazon or any of those things, chances are the dark web collect that data and it's there. So
Okay.
that's probably how those people get that kind of information. He also mentions that if you pay the minimum payment on your credit card, then it's going to take 33 years to pay it off. 33 years. That's like giving birth to a kid and the kid growing up to be 33-year-old. You're still paying.
I got one better for you. That's like a school loan.
A school, heck, yes. I have a student loan, man, which I took out since 1986. 1986, and now it's 2021, and they're still telling me I owe them money. Oh
So
man.
that's what that would be like. So pay
Yeah.
the balances if you can. Another way to improve your credit. Yeah. So this leads. Thank you, Greg. This leads right into to the next tip is to pay off your business credit cards to keep the debt ratio down. And if you can pay in full any outstanding debt, don't close any credit card accounts you have. The length of your credit history matters. Reconcile your credit card statements monthly as well as your bank statements. That means you have to have an accounting system. That's
Yeah.
what that means. And
Hmm.
possibly and potentially a bookkeeper, but
Yeah.
or have someone train you on how to use it yourself. And
Hmm.
then most importantly, control unnecessary charging. Use cash for small purchases because some people just like to whip out the old credit card. But if you got cash, use cash for a small. And I'm not one to pay on gas cards. I think it's just ridiculous, and
It
this
is.
is my own personal thing.
It
I
is.
think it's ridiculous to charge gas when by the time that month has come up to pay for that bill, you didn't run through that gas 3 or 4 times.
Well,
Uh,
not only that, the interest rate on those cars are like
crazy,
24%.
right?
So
It's
so
crazy. So
so even if the gas price is $2 and you go, oh, great price, you're paying $2 plus 24% on each gallon. So,
right. So be sensible. Does it make sense for you to do that? Is that a financial wise a decision that you're making here? So don't charge for gum on your credit card.
no, no,
That's dumb. And you're paying
no.
interest, like Gilbert says, you're paying 24% interest on a pack of gum that may
Yeah,
cost you $3 or $4. So
yeah.
use your credit cards to pay off things that you don't have when you don't have cash and you need to buy that time and make that for that to happen. Or as you're building credit, then use it for important stuff, but then making sure you're able to pay the full pay at the end of the month.
You know what's amazing, Crystal? I had a credit card with a 10% interest rate on it, right? 10%. So I said, oh, I can live with 10%, right?
Hmm.
But recently I looked at the statement, and on that statement, it said, your interest rate is 24%. I go, what? These people, they think we weren't paying attention. And that's what they do with small businesses all the time, because we're so busy trying to drum up business. They think we're not paying attention to our financials. So they try to jack up the rates on us, thinking that we're going to accept it. No, 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 no. 24% on
Wow.
the credit card.
So again, checking your bank statements, reading the fine print to make sure your credit card statements, the fine print, and again, don't use it unnecessarily because you pay more in the interest than you do on being able to just put the cash and take care of it. But if you do
Right.
need it in an emergency, then you want it to be there for an emergency, travel, things like that, and then and also keep control over it so you actually can pay that bill at the end of the month. That's why I
Right.
think American Express is probably the best credit card for a business to have because it forces you to do that. And so it
Yeah.
keeps you from being outrageously crazy because some people don't know some people and I think this is everybody. When you first get that credit card, you just think it's just so easy to pull it out your pocket and just use it. And then
Yeah.
as Greg said, at the end of the month, you pay that low interest, that low payment, which
Right.
I can afford $20 or $25 or
Yeah.
$50, but you
Yeah.
don't really know how much that's hurting you. And then as
Oh,
it
yeah.
keeps accumulating, right? And
Yeah.
then when you finally get to that place, that mature place, and you're going, this is insane. Let me pay off all the credit cards. I'm never using credit cards again.
33 years. Just remember that. 33 years. When you pay
Right.
the minimum payment, 33 years it's gonna take for you to pay. Thank you, Greg, for that.
Yes. So, last question that someone frequently asks is, does time in business affect my business credit profile? And basically, a strong profile shows the history of your ability to use credit and to repay credit to service that debt, and can be a positively impact on your profile. When you're going to the bank, only thing they care about is your credit worthiness. And
Mm-hmm.
so if your history has shown that you've been responsible and you've paid off your credit card bills, and you've not incurred, you haven't been dinged for past due payments, then the longer credit history you have, and the more favorable credit history, then they can analyze your credit worthiness, and then they'll see that you have a good track record in repaying your debt. And so then now you look like a model person that one can lend money to.
That's right. That's right. So I hope we have helped you guys today on the business zone with your business credit worthiness and your personal credit worthiness. And I hope the information we did disseminated to you was very helpful at all. Crystal is a genius when it comes to this. This is what she does. This is her space. She is a bookkeeper, an accountant. I call her a DNA specialist. You know, she goes in there, she goes in there and she does forensics on your book. So yes,
Well, I
Crystal,
do
great
to
job.
make sure, because with the whole PPP, this crisis pandemic has shown people, not just us having to tell them anymore. They now see it firsthand that maybe I should have been listening to Crystal and Gilbert all these years,
Yeah,
because that made a lot of sense. And if I had been doing that, I would have been ready for this crisis. So now maybe for the next crisis, Gilbert, we won't have to yell so loud.
right.
They will have their stuff together. In fact, we will be so impressed.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it, guys. Now, no, Greg Sneed said American Express is a charge card, not a credit card.
Okay. So what would Gregory Sneed, the financial literacy individual, what would he recommend for small businesses?
What would you recommend, Greg? Greg Sneed, what would you recommend to our small businesses? Give us some nuggets there in the chat box so
Oh,
we can
and
share.
also tell us what is the difference between a charge card and a credit card. Maybe that will help the people as well.
Yes, 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 yes. So since you're this is your space, you're financial genius, Greg. So let us know so we can share that with our viewers, and hopefully they'll follow your lead and be in a better position. This is 2021, and we know 2020 was a disastrous period for all of us, especially small businesses. So we don't want 2021 and 22 to take us down the same path. So we want to start, adjusting the way we do things and make it better. Greg said benefactor. What do you mean by that, Greg? Benefactor.
Oh, having somebody benefit me, is that what he means?
Yeah, he said a benefactor. Uh, we're looking at the difference between the charge card and the credit card. So tell me what that is. But in the meantime, while you're putting that information in the chat box, Crystal, did you have any other pointers or tips you want to share with our audience today?
No, that's pretty much for the only thing I want to say, and one of the reasons I thought this was so important, Gilbert, was because 2020 was a difficult year, and a lot of individual business owners, whose credit is going to be highly affected, and
Yeah,
therefore their credit scores are going to be highly affected. And I know when we went through the Great Recession in
yeah,
2007 and through 2008,
yeah,
it took actually some people to recover
yeah,
all the way up into 2018. So they
yeah.
had just started recovering in 2018. Oh, hello, my friends. Hey, Sandy Lou.
Hey, Sandy Lou, how are you?
Um, that some people had just started recovering as of 2020, 2020, 2019, 18,
Yeah,
and that 2020 was going to become a really great year for them. And then all hell broke loose. And so I do know we're going to have some problems with our personal credit, and credit cards are due in 30 days full balance, charge cards.
oh, okay. That's the difference.
Okay.
That's the difference between the
Okay.
charge
Thank you,
card and the credit
Greg.
card. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I
that's
think a lot of
one of the reasons I thought this
Crystal,
was so important.
Crystal, I think a lot of organization kind of took advantage of small businesses too, because they know we were weak during that period, 2020. We didn't have money. There's no money coming in. So then they try to lure many of us with that loan and claim that, okay, we'll work with you. And then now they're trying to call those loans. So I'm hoping that many of our
Right.
small businesses didn't use their collateral, their property as collateral for those loans, because it's just awful.
And I told some people, I know for me that when you're looking at loans, you need to know why you're doing it, right? You just don't
Yeah,
want to do it. I mean, there were a number of people that I know that took the idle loan, which is a
yeah,
loan, and
yeah.
yes, it was a small rate, but they didn't really quite understand
Hmm.
and what that meant, and so so down the line they're going to have to repay that, and that could be definitely be a detriment to them
Right.
if that's the case, right? And then the other thing that I saw was, and I had several people come to me, they took the PPP loan. At that time they added on all of this staff, or what they thought was adding on staff, but really not. They were adding on contractors because they didn't have a payroll account set up,
Mm,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
then after the fact, they were trying to establish the payroll account. Well, it's not that easy and not that quick and fast to set up an account with EDD. You got to
Yeah,
get your number. You got to go through that whole process. So
yeah,
they found themselves, now they didn't find themselves in a whole nother situation, but because they thought it was like free money coming to them. Well, you
right.
had to show that, yeah, it was free money in the sense that you they weren't going through the regular criteria to assess you for a loan,
Yeah,
but but uh, pre approval. But after post approval, you were going to have to show some sort of documentation. And Greg says he's down with the PPP. But Greg, you know how to make the PPP work for you, my brother. Not everybody do. Everybody thinks, oh, it's just free money. Not
yeah.
really. So,
And also a point that I want to put out there to
and,
all the
and I
small
was also,
businesses, the small businesses that are viewing this program right now. I just want to put this point out there to you. If you know you don't have employees, don't try to tell the loan provider that you have employees. Just tell them that you have independent contractor. That's what you use, because now I think they have a provision in that PPP for independent contractors. You use them similar to an employee, but they're an independent contractor and you can get credit for that. Now, if you tell them you have employees, they're going to check with EDD to see if you register them as employees. If they're not registered as employees, they're not. So keep that in mind.
yeah, so that was that. So that was really the reason for this. Again, it's all about financial literacy, right? So if you don't understand how money works and how agencies work, and whether loans are for you or not for you, but making sure that when you apply for a loan, that you really know what you're going to use it for, and that you have resources in order to pay it back. So
Yeah,
not all money is good money for you, especially if you haven't thought it out. There were other opportunities. Grants might have been a better choice for you.
yeah,
And there were quite a few grants out there for some of you that are truly sole proprietors. Unemployment worked for you if you were independent contractors. So there were so many opportunities that you could make it work for you without incurring any unnecessary debt. So
right.
I just thought it was important. And I think uh, um, no one to you to file 941 get forgiveness on employees. I didn't quite get that, Greg. Something you have to file the 941 financial report. I mean payroll reports to get
Yeah,
forgiveness on employees. Yes,
yeah,
that is absolutely true. And
right.
so a lot of them don't have 941s, um, and therefore they got a problem. So, but I do think the more we understand the literacy of business finances as well as the literacy of personal finances, we'll be in a better place as business owners and individuals. Thank you, Lily. Lily said good stuff.
Thank you, Lily Rocha. Hey, just like with any game, if you got to understand the game to win it. So it's the same thing here with business. As a small business, if you understand the rules of the game, the guidelines, and how you can walk a thin line, then that's what you need to do in order to get by. Like I say this over and over. The big boys and the big girls, they know how to do this, how to manipulate the game so they can get by. We got to learn it too as small businesses. We got to learn the rules and apply them. Go ahead,
Yeah, you're
Crystal.
absolutely right. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate your input. We'll see you. We got to have you on the show again, Greg. So we'll send you the link, or you can call me at 213-458-5952 and press, I think it's number 5 to be a guest on the show. Enjoy your happy Friday time, Greg.
And Sandy Lou, and Lily, thank you guys for joining the program as well. Also want to thank who was it? I think it was Maisha.
Maisha was on. We have Steve
Yes.
Gable on, and we have Andre Parvenu. We have James Thompson on Facebook as well. And we want to thank you guys all for tuning into the Business Zone. Next week, we have an amazing guest, Miss Tanya Mackey. She has a program that she's been running all of 2020 on creating wealth for women. And so she, too, is in the financial industry and just completely dedicated to helping women grow and become and grow them their wealth, grow their businesses, their personal wealth, and as well as their business wealth. So I'm excited. Tanya, she not only teaches it, that woman, she walks the walk. So she has established herself. She travels about 12 times a year. She has vacation homes, but she has created this an amazing world for herself, and it was all through her financial management and understanding how to make the dollar to work for her. So looking forward to her next week. So you guys tune back in next week. Go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit the button.
And remember, we're on every Friday from 3 to 4. We went over a little today because the information was so great and we were excited about delivering this to you. But we're on. This is a Business Zone. And if you don't know what the Business Zone is about, the Business Zone is a platform. It's a radio show. As a matter of fact, it's a #1 radio show in Southern California that speaks about issues that small businesses need to know. We provide guidance. We provide coaching. Crystal and I. We've got over 50 years of experience in the industry, and we're happy to help you guys to become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready with the information that we disseminate. So please don't hesitate to tune in and listen to us. Who knows? You might be able to elevate your business 1 notch after listening today.
All right. So you've tuned in today. Today was all about building business credit. We hope you got some information from that. Please, even after we go off air, you can continue to share in the chat room or in the comments on Facebook and or YouTube, your experiences to help other small businesses. So Gilbert, you got anything good coming up next week?
Well, I'm the lead business coach with Vermont's Lawson Economic Development Center, and we got about 40 small businesses that we're developing. We're trying to take them from ready to do business status to business readiness, contract readiness, and bank loan readiness status. So it's going to be an amazing program. It should end. It's a 10-month program, I believe, a 10-month program. And I'm just excited about it. These businesses are going to become dynamic small businesses. So next week I'll be meeting and with Lily Rocha from the Latino Restaurant Association. She's got a boot camp called the Restaurant Boot Camp for Small Businesses. and that's coming up on Monday, the 19th. That's when it starts, and I'll be one of the facilitators there. So I'll be teaching, setting up your restaurant business, and gonna use my patent pending platform to help those entrepreneurs get set up the right way, get their back office set up the right way. So that's what's coming up.
Awesome.
That's what's coming up
Awesome.
next week.
All righty. And I have coming up my Biz Kids. You guys all know that I do entrepreneur training for young people between the ages of 13 to 18. And these young people are going to be creating businesses. So Biz Camp registration is going on right now. If you're looking for a summer camp, virtual summer camp program for your youth, it's absolutely free. In fact, we pay them to attend, and so we want them to sign up to create their businesses. So you can go to laul.org programs/bizcamp to sign your kids up. We also have an amazing program for kids called American on Tech. This starts May 4th. BizCamp starts July. BizCamp starts July 6th, and it's a month program, and it's a half a day program. The American on Tech actually is May 4th, and it's going to be a 5-week program once a week on Tuesdays and or Thursdays. So that's for teenagers 15 to 19, and then we have another program that they can develop their products and it will be produced for them. So this summer Biz camps are amazing programs. So go over to laul.org/program/bizcamp and sign your kids up today. Great program. It's one of the most rewarding things that I do, and I'm excited about that. Make sure you tune in next week for the Business Zone at 3 o'clock on Friday, and also tune in at 11 a.m. for the community business briefing. Just have some amazing conversations. This past Thursday, Gilbert, we had some riveting conversation from Dr. Vicki Mays about the vaccine and all the things and vaccines for youth, for the kids. And she made it very, she was emphatic about the fact that we need to stay masked up, social distance, continue to wash our hands, and that children get COVID just as well as adults do.
Wow. See, we knew that, but some people were trying to ignore that. So I'm glad she reiterated that point for all of us. That's amazing. Amazing. Now, I put in the chat, the email link to Lily's boot camp, the Latino Restaurant Association boot camp. So guys, check out the chat. All the links that Crystal and I talk about are in there. Just go ahead and copy everything from the chat, so you have that, and you guys can register and get the kind of help that you need and deserve to grow your business. Now, there are two ways in which we run this show. We either have a guest on or two guests, so they can talk about their industry and their expertise, and they can share that with you. Or if we don't have a guest, we have class in session, just like we did today. Today was class in session, and we go over certain topics with you to help you grow and elevate your business. So if any of you want to be a guest on our show, don't hesitate. Just give Crystal a call at
213-458-5952.
All right.
And press 5.
That's 213-458-5952 and press 5.
All right. So we ready to sign off, my co-host?
Yes, we're ready to sign off, folks. We don't want to leave you, but we just got to go.
We got to go. Thank you, Sandy Lou. Sandy Lou, we need to get you back on the show. Lily, I'll be talking to you on Monday. Greg, thank you. And all the other people that are watching on Facebook, we appreciate your support. Go over to our go over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button so you can tune in again next week at 3 o'clock. And Lily and Sandy Lou are sending us much love on Facebook.
That's what I'm talking about. Much respect, guys. Thank you
Much
guys
respect.
so much.
So we'll see you guys next week. Have a safe weekend. Make sure you're masked up. Make sure you're washing your hands and protect your loved ones. We want to continue. We do want to come back into a live world one day, but we want you to be there. So we love you all and thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
And we're out.
And we're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
All righty then. Great